Tanya.
Hi, Tanya. It's Steve.
Okay. So the reason for this interview today is for my social work class, or my social work communications class. We're practicing interview styles, and I just want you to know that I'm being graded on this. Your responses are not.
Okay.
And then here's an informed consent I'll need you to fill out. Um, it just states that the following interview will be recorded and viewed by myself, my professor, and one peer reviewer. It will take no more than 30 minutes, and that the questions being asked will pertain to the problem that we've discussed. And if at any point during this interview you feel uncomfortable, just let me know and we can move on or end the interview. And then at the end of the interview, you'll be asked to fill out a client feedback form. And then I would also like to add that if at any point it becomes like a high stakes issue, then I'll have to redirect it.
Not a problem.
Thank
There you go.
you. Okay, so, okay. I understand that you want to work on budgeting. Are you wanting to learn ways to save money, or are you trying to save money for like a particular item that you've been wanting?
Well, I've been kind of wanting to add on to my house, do some remodeling, stuff like that. And it just seems like budget's a little bit stretched right now for that.
What is your current method of budgeting, or how does your current method of budgeting affect your life right now?
Well, I was going to say, I don't really stick to a budget at the moment. I have before, but it's been a while. And you do notice after a while that, I make decent money, but it just doesn't seem like as much as should be there whenever you go for like making your credit card payments or house payments. And it just seems like the savings or checking gets a little bit lower sometimes.
So, what are your biggest issues related to budgeting? Are you an impulse buyer, or do you have a limit? Well, you said you make good money, so.
I am kind of an impulse buyer, mainly with my kids, more so than me. I don't, go out and do like impulsive, like buying as far as clothes and stuff. But if I see outfit or an entertainment thing that for them, it's easy to go ahead and just spend that little bit extra that you probably could save up for, and help later on.
So, just to clarify, you're an impulsive buyer when it comes to your children.
Yes.
How would you like for your finances to look 6 months from now?
Actually, in 6 months from now, if I got back onto a budget, I would like to try to like pay any credit card debt that I have down to half.
Okay, so what about 12 months from now?
And realistically speaking, I'd like to have it paid off and anything on the cards paid off by then, and then go monthly and pay off at every month.
Okay. So you would still continue to use your credit cards? Is that for
Yes.
to maintain a credit score? Or?
To maintain credit score. Also, my credit cards do offer points when you spend on them, so it'd be helpful if I could get it down to where there wouldn't be a finance charge to pay it monthly, but collect those points and use that at say the end of the year for different parts of Christmas or birthdays.
So your points, do they pay out those points at the end of the year? Or?
Yes. Well, they don't expire, so I can hold off. Even if I didn't use all of it at the end of the year, it would hold over till the next year. So it'd be nice to have a little bit extra, because when I have a finance charge at the end of the month, that kind of takes away for trying to save up the points that pays out. They do pay on money dividends as far as gift cards or restaurant cards or whatever. So it'd be great, for, like I said, birthdays, Christmas.
So on a scale to 1 to 5, how motivated are you to start saving money and paying off your debt?
I'd say a 4. I'd like to really get back on track. I'd like to, reel my finances back in. They're not completely out of control, but definitely could use a little bit of help with them.
So if you're a 4, why are you not a 1 or a 2?
Well, I was gonna say, I've been at a 2 before, and to where I don't worry about it until, the bills come due, and then I'm like, oh, well, I should have been saving up a little bit more for this, because this is kind of a drain on my checking, or every now and then maybe have to dip into a savings account I just don't like doing that. I'd like to keep my savings account going.
So in the past, you were kind of just motivated whenever it was a bit too late, or?
Yes, I was much more diligent about, staying on top of finances and not spending just because, the kids see something and they want it, and like, it'd be a good surprise this weekend, or, for any occasion opposed to waiting for birthdays and Christmas and stuff.
So do you have family or friends that could hold you accountable for your spending or help you with your budgeting?
Well, I do have a sister that, she is very good money-wise, and we have talked before about maybe, getting together and starting to come up with a budget. I've, had a budget before, and she originally started helping me with that.
Okay. Okay, that was my next question, if you had tried to create a budget before. So did you learn anything from that time that could help you now, or?
Yes, back then I did. I kind of stuck to the budget. Watched, going out to eat and impulsive buying. I would think ahead of time about, well, is this in my budget? And, nowadays I've just kind of slacked off on that.
So what do you think changed before, whenever you were staying on top of things to?
Well, it does take a little bit of time, and sometimes it just don't seem like I have the time as much anymore to sit down and stay on top of a budget. Look on my computer and say, okay, well, wait a minute, I'm over this month on eating out, or, clothing allowance for the kids, or, entertainment for the kids, going out to movies, or, something, kind of concert or something.
Okay, so have you done any research on any methods or tips for budgeting that you would like to try?
Well, actually, when I first started, bought my first house, I actually had the bank had me take a budgeting class, which taught us, how much to save, to make your house payments and everything. They were more worried about the house payments, but it actually taught a lot of different budgeting strategies that would really help with, staying on top of, like I said, clothing, food, entertainment, utilities, just almost everything. It was like a monthly budget that I could go right down the line and say, okay, this is how much I need, this is how much I'm going to spend, and this is how much I'm not going to spend.
Would you be interested in retaking that class or finding a different course that may be offered nearby?
Yes, actually, I would. I think, a refresher course would be really helpful as far as getting back on track to a budget.
I know you've mentioned a few times that you find it difficult to find time to create a budget and whatnot. So do you think you would have the time to take a course, or?
I believe I could make time to take a course to get myself back on track. I think it'd pay off on the long run. Like I said, if I created the time to take a course, then I think I would be more apt to stay with a budget, opposed to, just thinking, oh, maybe I'll come up with one next week, and kind of procrastinating and putting it off.
Have you? Oh, well, I already missed that. I'm sorry. What is something that you spend a lot of money on now that you think you could cut back on, such as the children's entertainment, or?
We do go to a lot of movies. They do like purchasing video games, and some of those I think we really could cut back on quite a bit, and still be fine with, and nothing fall apart in the house, and we would be able to save a little bit more money each month.
Well, no, summer's coming up, and I think there's a lot of things offered downtown and whatnot that are free or relatively cheap for children, so maybe you could look into something like that. Or...
They do like going to Friday after 5, and for the most part, there's, a lot of free entertainment there. So That is one thing I would try to stick with, is events like that opposed to events that actually cost more money.
So, what are some goals that you think you would like to set for yourself?
I would like to actually start putting a little bit back each week to pay straight onto the credit cards. Say $20 every paycheck. Just start out with that. And then if I could stick to that, I think it would actually maybe even be able to pay a little bit more.
So, I think you mentioned before that you would like to have your credit cards paid down or paid off in 12 months.
Yes, I would like to do that, and just hold that little extra back. I think that would be another step to getting there, would be, giving up a few of the movie nights, or, have just rental nights and just watch movies at the home, opposed to going out to the movie theaters or going out to dinner in a movie. And
What are some other things you think we could do to kind of accomplish this goal, to have your debt paid off in 12 months?
Well, I mean, one of the things would be planning vacations and trips like that, opposed to just like spontaneous trips. It's like, hey, this weekend, it's, you don't have any homework, let's go to Evansville, or, Cincinnati, St. Louis, something like that, and let's go to the aquarium or something like that. After a while, those little trips that don't seem that far away, or they're not actual vacations, they do add up though, and cutting down on those would help.
And I think if you plan it out, I know a lot of places offer coupons and stuff online. You can, if you have the time, you can look that up and kind of help save money with that.
Okay.
Well, would you be interested in keeping a log of what you spend and where?
I would like to find a new budget sheet that I could create onto my computer, and I could actually track my spending as far as the monthly necessities, opposed to the monthly extra spending.
And you mentioned that you have a sister that was good with finances. Do you
Yes.
think you could contact her and have her help you out?
I think we could get together, and I know she'd be willing to help out, and, even, check with me weekly. Okay, did you go out? Did you take off any time? Did you go out to eat? How many times did you order out? Ask me stuff like that. I know she would probably jump right on board with something like that. So.
All right, well, thank you for participating. I think this is all I need. I wish you luck, and if you
Well,
wouldn't
thank you.
mind, I would like you to fill out this client feedback form.
Okay.